welcome to our daily news program broadcast to you live here on Canal Algérie. Coming up next. The three candidates for the upcoming presidential elections keep calling on the electorate to massively turn out and ensure the success of this major political event. Preparations are underway in Brussels and a delegation representing the ANI is on the spot to take stock of the situation. The Ballara steel and iron plant in Gijil increases its exports towards 30 countries as part of a global expansion strategy. And TICAD is favor of the Western Sahara's participation in Tokyo meeting, a breakthrough for this fair cause. Welcome again. First in our news, the three candidates for the upcoming presidential elections keep defending their electoral programs, urging the electorate to massively turn out and vote for the candidate they consider the fittest for the coming term. More details, as usual, with our desk reporter, Melissa Kabash.
The independent candidate Tebboune Abdelmajid held a rally attended by no less than 17,000 citizens, during which he reiterated his commitments to create more job positions and increase the purchasing power. Regarding young people, the main social segment, Tebboune vowed to create through them a new political class, indicating that a large number of them are jobless. Therefore, he pledged, if elected, to create 54,000 job positions while increasing the unemployment allowance as a token of support to our youth by 2025. He also pledged to improve the situation of both the educational and health personnel and vulnerable classes, including people with disabilities, retirees, elderly and housewives. He vowed as well to pursue the efforts meant to improve the economic situation so that Algeria will no longer import wheat by 2025 and 2026 with a national income of $400 billion by 2027. Candidate Hassan Sharif Abdelali displayed from Ghilizan his will to establish the principle of equal opportunities among citizens, indicating that the party's founder Mahfoud Nahnah wouldn't have taught his followers nonsense. He trained them to love the homeland and be faithful to it, stating that his project Forsa is a national project that contains solutions to all problems evoked earlier. He pledged to remove the hindrances facing the governance environment, such as bureaucracy, nepotism, and pressure put on workers, executives, investors, and even the media, in addition to other practices. According to the same speaker, and in case of being elected, he would endeavor to root out all these practices and establish an atmosphere marked by justice and equality to protect the citizen from these wrongdoings that affected negatively our country, according to the MSP candidate. In Tizi Ouzou province, the FFS candidate Awshish Youssef stressed the need to take part in the upcoming presidential elections and vote massively, indicating that it is time for our youth to be part of the ruling class and that despite the hindrances faced, we must keep our promise to our glorious martyrs, adding that thanks to the citizens' support, we can say that democracy isn't lost. We must remain together, men and women, to decide about our country's destiny and elect wisely the fittest for our homeland by accomplishing our electoral duty all together on September the 7th and make our voice heard, stressing once more that we must all stand strong together side by side so as to give the Algerian people the opportunity to rule. The candidate recalled for the umpteenth time that taking part in these presidential elections is part of his will to defend our country, Algeria.
Still with the presidentials, the meetings of the ANI delegation now in Belgium involved members of diplomatic and consular representations. The focus was on the smooth running of the voting operation for our nationals established in this country. Reported by our correspondent Afaf Belhouchat, taken up by Laetitia Sedqawi.
Belgium is the new stopover of the ANI delegation, precisely the Algerian General Consulate in Brussels, reviewing all the necessary logistics for the D-Day.
Nous avons fait une petite simulation.
We've had a simulation of the voting day to assess the preparations and if there is any change needed. Additionally, we have heard the different speakers and wished good luck to everyone, all while emphasizing the importance of raising awareness ahead of the upcoming presidential elections.
Les différents intervenants au procès. Nous avons bien évidemment souhaité bon courage à tout le monde en insistant sur le travail de sensibilisation.
It is indeed a large constituency that also covers Luxembourg, therefore requires the opening of other voting offices.
We have 8 voting offices across Belgium and Luxembourg. In this respect, these offices will be managed by staff belonging to the civil society to ensure a streamlined process.
Personnel recruté de la société civile pour la bonne tenue de ces derniers.
Another challenge, that of communication in a country with fewer communication channels.
Nous avons également déployé
We have also deployed a media campaign in order to keep our expatriates informed by sending regular emails and texts and posting on social media.
Personal letters are also sent to voters registered on the electoral list by name. Worth mentioning that the voting process will last from the 2nd of September until the National Day of the 7th of September.
Spotlight now on the steel plant of Belara, a fruit of an Algerian-Qatari partnership. After its resounding success, which allowed it to become one of the leaders of the country, it is now aiming to conquer the international markets. Amal Bouaqba and Laetitia Sadqawi.
These tons of iron are destined for export to the 4 corners of the world. They are the products of the steel plant of Belara, the outcome of an Algerian-Qatari partnership. Its annual production capacity is 2.5 million tons, but the objective is to double it by the end of the year, part of which will be exported from the Jinjin port.
We export the surplus, which is around 40%. Despite the challenges on the international market, we have managed to export our product to 30 countries over the span of 2 years. We target other markets, notably the USA and several countries in Northern Europe.
The Algerian-Qatari Steel Company is keen on the exploitation of the Garage Bilat mine in Tindouf, which will allow further production of iron, a primary material highly demanded.
We bring the raw material from abroad because it is of a special nature. While we await the achievement and commissioning of Garage Bilat mine, it is very important for us to raise the rate of national integration.
With 2,900 personnel, the steel company focuses on national competences and the transfer of technology.
A plant of this importance was state-of-art technologies. It was a challenge for us to depend on local competences of Jijin. Today, 95% of our employees is recruited with our experience. We trained and accompanied them on the field. Today, they are capable of using these technologies.
This know-how has gained the company the prize of the President of the Republic as the best exporter towards Africa. It is now focusing on diversifying its exports to further impose itself on the international market.
In a different story, the TICAD has been in favor of Western Sahara's participation in the meeting held in Tokyo on development in Africa, foiling thereby the Moroccan attempts to isolate the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic in this event, a breakthrough for this fair cause. More details in this updated report.
Another setback sustained by the Mahsen regime was the participants in the TICAD meeting, bringing together Africa and Japan, held in Tokyo, sided with the Sahara representative, allowing him to take part in the proceedings of this partnership meeting on Africa, foiling thereby the Moroccan attempt to exclude Western Sahara, according to a communique released by the TICAD meeting, indicating clearly the right of the African Union countries to participate in this development meeting, Africa-Japan. The Moroccan maneuver to exclude the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic on the ground that only the AU countries recognized by the UN are allowed to attend this get-together was doomed to failure. This resounding diplomatic breakthrough for Western Sahara denotes once again the failure of the Moroccan regime, more and more isolated in its attempts to exclude Western Sahara on the international scene. Furthermore, none of the African countries deemed as traditional allies by the Morsi regime reacted positively, with the Moroccan delegation behaving in a thuggish way, putting once more Morocco in a desperate situation in the international arena.
And massacres continue in Gaza, where more than 40,000 Palestinians were killed since October 7, 2023. An approximate toll, of course, as thousands of Palestinians are missing. Entire families have been wiped out in Deir al-Balah and Khan Yunis, and at least 71 Palestinians were killed in the latest wave of Zionist bombings. Despite a severe shortage of medical supplies, rescue teams are racing against time to tend to survivors and recover dead bodies. The harrowing footage stands as a stark testament to the brutality of the Zionist occupation. To sports now, CR Belouizdad moved to the next round of the African Champions League competition after beating in the second leg AC Leopards of Congo with 1-0 in the game held in Chakr Stadium here in Blida. The goal was scored by Abderraouf Ben Ghaith. It is also worth noting that CS Constantine progressed to the next round of the African CAF contest following its 2-1 victory over the Rwandan side Police FC in the away game held today in Kigali. CSC will face in the next game and so Atriaman of Ghana before qualifying to the group stage. And with that, our today's news edition comes to a close. Thank you so much for tuning in.